Sure, abuti honestly.
4 million rand upgrade is coming your way. 4 million rand upgrade is coming your way. Right? So, julle wat 'n council het daar in Water T2, SMMEs en daai mense, 4 million rand project is coming your way. Laat die council of julle sê weer is 'n 150 project of a 200,000 project. It's a 4 million rand project coming your way. Remember now what we always do in a life. We give history. We tell you what the problem is. We tell you how we're going to solve the problem or what must be done to solve the problem. And then we give you context, right? That's the main thing. So, if you look at my last, I just made a post. Before this live, I made a post. You can go check it out. It's under this live on my Facebook, right? In that post, you would see it's an old post, but I just shared it because I wanted to give context as to what's happening now next. In that post, you would have seen I shared when we were in the office of the MMC still as the PA, right? It was myself, it was Chad, and you will have seen us go to that problem in Pinar Street. Now, what is the problem? The problem is underground water, right? Fresh underground water streams. Dis water wat it's veins, soos are wat onder die grond is. Hillside het dit, Clary Estate het dit, Bettelsdorp het dit, Helenville het dit, erg, Shode het dit. Right, so alle areas in jou linkerkant op van Stanford Road, die hooggelede areas, they have these veins running underground, and these are fresh water. It's not municipal water. It doesn't come from any municipal source or municipal pipes. It's just underground spring water, if you want to put it like that. Now, what the problem with that is, it pops up just anywhere, right? You will see in Helenville, it pops up, it then goes into the stormwater system, it goes into the sewage system. Now, a sewage pipe is a thin pipe. It's not a big pipe. I think there's like a 180 diameter, 150 or 180 diameters, right? The stormwater pipes you'll get from 320 to 480 diameters. If you want to put that into perspective, take a ruler. A ruler is 300, right? So a sewage pipe will be half of that. Van die helfte van die ruler, maak 'n ronde kruisie. Yeah, run a crazy in a circle, and then that would be the half of the pipe. 480 would be almost 2 linear together. A little bit less, that would be a stormwater pipe. So it's not a big pipe, right? So for water to have an exit there, you need to have free flow. There must be no debris, no rubbish, no blockages. Yeah. So when water flows freely, everything is fine. Now you've got these veins that pops in. They contribute, they go into the same system, they go into the sewage line, they clog the sewage line, there's too much water in the sewage line, and then the sewage starts boiling up. You saw a video the other day somebody shared, I think it was Cobus Road, Martin Street, and that is part of the reason. Drains are blocked. More water are coming in, including rainwater, including stormwater overflows, including these underground veins, right? Now, how do we solve that problem? We then had a meeting. I called my ED at the time. I said, look, how do we solve this problem? Because that's the first place we went to when we took government. And it's the first thing that we had to find money for. Unfortunately, we could only find the money later, because the budget was already approved. We still had the DA's budget at the time. And the DA's budget, remember we kicked the DA out of Nelson Mandela Bay government, right? We were governing with the ANC in a coalition, but we couldn't solve that problem because the DA's budget didn't speak to that. And you can't just change the budget. You have to wait for either budget adjustment or you have to wait for the next budget, right? So the next budget came, we then said, look, how do we solve this thing for good? Because the problem is not only in Helen Vale, the streets, the sewage lines, it's also coming down to Stanford Road. So if you want to have an understanding of the problem, go through Stanford Road, Gale Road, en verby Gale Road. Daar's 'n couch aan die linkerkant se baan. Daai couch is daar, hy's permanently daar. Somebody put a couch in the left-hand side of the road. Because right after that couch is a massive, massive pothole that's been there for 7, 8, 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the problem. That's the extent of the problem. Now you can blame a lot of people. You can blame Ethel Trollop, was a DA mayor. You can blame, ek ken ook eens al die ANC mayors, die was so klomp gewees. You can blame ANC mayor. Then you can go back to Retief. Wie was voor Retief? Banga was there. Then you can go to Eugene Johnson, Gary van Niekerk, Retief. These are all the mayors that problem was there, right? So we said, how do we fix this problem? Remember, to fix anything in Nelson Mandela Bay, the first thing you need is appetite. Your heart moet in hy ding is. You must be able to identify the challenges that problem creates for the community. And then you need to identify hoe swaar kry die community as gevolg van hy problem. Right? Then you must commit yourself to finding a solution to that problem. That is appetite. That entire process there, we call it political appetite. So you must have appetite to want to solve a problem. The next thing you need is budget. Once you have appetite, you need budget, right? So we then said, all right, I called in my ED, at the time was Yusuf Kafur, can nog geen van sê nie. But we came up with two possibilities, right? One was Boergat. Boergat being borehole. One was, let's drill boreholes throughout Helenvale. Dan gaan ons na die next ene Gelvin toe, gaan ons Salt Lake in die Clear Estate toe, en so gaan ons aan. The boreholes will then extract that fresh water out of the ground right on top, right? We can then put the balls into the schoolyards, we can put it on the sport fields, and that will then allow the veins underground to dry up, not coming out, popping out into our sewage and into our stormwater systems, right? So that would then relieve the stormwater pressure and the sewage pressure that we are currently facing in Helenvale. That was the one solution. That solution was a very expensive solution. Number one, it cost too much. Number two, you would have to enter into intergovernmental agreements and memorandums of understanding between, one, if you're going to engage the schools, it will be Department of Education. Number two, if it's going to be the sports, you're going to have to engage provincial government if that belongs to them, right? Number three, if it's private property like churches, you need to then get special consent from National Treasury, from council, because now you're going to use municipal resources, money, and you're going to drill a borehole on a private property, which is a church, which is a house, wherever that problem is. So option one was a little bit expensive and it was a little bit far-fetched, right? Because agreements like that does not happen overnight. You don't just sign an agreement like that with the church and then with the club, then with the a school, right? A police camp, or whatever there is. So boreholes was the best option, but it was the most expensive and the process would have been too tedious and too long. Ons sal deur al 5 elections gegaan het voordat Bisho ons geantwoord het, kan ons in die police camp drill, kan ons dit doen, ja, by die clinics kan ons Boergat insit, you know. So as 2 clinics, as een in Gale Road en as een in hoek van Springbok en Bell Road. Daar was groot are that we could have drilled. But it was too difficult to do that. What was the next option, the cheapest option, and the most common option was something we call a subsoil drain, right? Now, if I must explain, I'm going to try my best to explain to you guys. I'm not an engineer. And I'm trying to remember the context of how it looked when they explained to me what Magi drain. So the subsoil drain is a pipe. It's like a stormwater pipe, right? Like a 480 diameter groot pipe. Hy wat lyk soos concretepype, waterpype. And on top of that pipe, you get it. It depends on how big the problem is. Some use a big pipe, some use like small black pipes, And how this works is on top of the pipe, there's gaten, there's holes in it. Then they cover it with something, right? They cover the holes with something. They put stone on top, like G5 or something, some kind of stone on top. And then there's other materials that goes in. Now, the purpose of that subsoil drain is you put it in where the challenges are, where the water flows freely and where it wants to pop out, right? So before the water pops out, we are talking about the fresh water now, these natural springs that just pops up, that creates damage to our roads, like the one in Stanford Road. That drain's purpose is to let the gravity pull the water into the drain, and that drain releases the water out wherever it leads to, right? So that was the second option. That was a very cheap option. I think the borehole project was going to cost us close to 80 or 90 million rand at the time. And that doesn't solve every problem in the metro. It only solves Helenville and a stukkie van Galvindale, right? The Bokant, Beverly Hills. It doesn't solve all the problem. Now, we fought and we said, all right, let us go find budget. We couldn't find budget in 23, 24. 24, 25. 24, 25. I was still an MMC in 24, 25 from 24 July to 25 November, right? By November, I knew that we found money for that project. So we found, I think, 4 point something million. I'm just need to be staying corrected on the amount, but it is 4 million something. It's not less than 4 million. And the one that we found we can do is the one in Pinar Street going down to Stanford Road, right? So that budget we then found. November, we exited council. We sent in 2 new councillors for the PA, Councillor Elvira and Councillor Gavin. They've been fighting for this budget. Not for the budget. The budget has then been allocated. It was approved, right? We found the money. It was allocated. Now we just need the process to start. Nou, die proses is wanneer jou administrators baie stadig is. There's issues there, and sometimes you need your councillors to fight for these things. Like Water T2, DA councillors should have fought for this, but they've never been there. I don't even know if he knows about the project that's coming. He might know it today, tomorrow he might know about it because we are telling him about it, but that money has now been earmarked. It's been allocated, 4 point something million rand. Now what's going to happen is they're starting at the bottom because bulk of the water comes together at the bottom and the stream there is a lot. So they're starting in Pinar Street. Pinar Street needs to get one and the Ghat needs to get one. The Ghat's problem and Pinar Street's problem is exactly the same, right? Those two needs to get one. So they're starting in the Ghat. There's a 4 million rand starting there within the next couple of weeks, I hope and I pray. When that is done, that subsoil will then be placed into the ground. It will redirect the fresh water supply, the veins, the spring water, into the stormwater system at the bottom. And the reason why I start at the bottom is because the outlet, aan die kant van Stanford Road, is where the outlet is. You will see it in my below post, the post under this live. You will see I show everything there. That water will then come out on that side, right? Then I'm hoping and praying that they will now fight for more subsoils around the area to be built. But this is a small win. It means that for now, very, very small win, guys. It's not even something to wow about. But I'm just excited that it's finally getting attention, right? So for now, once that is done, the issue on Stanford Road, daar waar hy couch staan, aan die linkerkantste baan, that pothole, that issue hopefully should be resolved, right? Then after that, we should go to the Ghat and resolve that issue, because that is a terrible, terrible condition people are living in there. Then we need to go straight up Martinstraat, Cobus Road, right up until we solve all these vein problems, right? Artery problems. Julle wat gaan nou dink ek praat van vein nou, you know. So with that said, guys, I thought let me come up and explain to you like what's happening there. And the money is there now, finally. So the contractor has been appointed. The values is there, the job, the stat, the what do you call this thing now? The specs, the specifications. The specifications is there, so they will start very, very soon. So with that said, guys, like and share so we can get the message out. Hopefully Stanford will be sorted out, Pienaarstad will be sorted out, and a section of Martin Street should be sorted out by when this subsoil is done, right? So the SMME is there. They will get some projects. There's some projects coming your way. Engage your counselor. Die counselor of you says, so 100,000 rand project, sê vir hy mense sê op die TV van die live 4 million. Hulle moenie bysa nie. So mense moet ook werk kry. So mense moet ook projects raak. Right? So SMMEs, go there, go and upskill yourself. Hou op buyouts vat. Buyouts, I've always said it, even as an MMC, I said it. I cannot respect an SMME that continuously take a buyout. You are not building yourself. You are not building your business. You are just going from hand to mouth. That's it. You've got a PTY limited, you've got a CK registered, but that's it. You're building nothing by taking buyouts. When the next project comes, go to the contractor and say, all right, my bro, laat ek krywe koop. Laat ek my 2 grawe koop. You know? And you work from there. Last met die ander ouens, dan koop julle vir hulle 'n TLB ouens. Now next time the contracts come, the contractor know, I'm going to use the TLB of the community. You see? That is empowerment. That is what SMME participation was meant for. It was never meant for buyouts. So respect Owens, go do the job. Let's build our communities. And as the PA, we are still fighting in the background. We are not in government. We are sitting in the opposition benches, but we've got a lot of input in the administration. We've worked very hard to get input there. So we can tell you when the projects will start. I will tell you when it starts, where it's going to go, how much that project is, things that your ward council is supposed to tell you every month. Right? You will get it here by us, by the PA. We will get it here. The message then was, you are not supposed to talk about contracts and tenders and business. Who's doing these things if we're not doing it? If our people are not getting tenders and contracts, who's getting the tenders? Huh? Dan wonder julle, hoekom kan Knampie overseas gaan met sy hele familie? Maar ons het bly in die gemeenskap. We don't upskill ourselves. Ons councilors praat nie van die goede nie. Right? So, gaan water toe, gaan na julle councilor toe. Hy gaan julle bel. Julle gaan gesensitized word oor die project. That project is gonna come. Go get your sticky there and go upskill yourself. Remember, upskill. We don't want buyouts. We don't respect buyouts as the PA. Buyout is not empowering anybody. You eat today, tomorrow you are hungry again. Ne? Salute, moenie paisa nie. Subsoil, 4 million rand. Moenie paisa nie. Ons mense gaan daarom services kry, man. Shap.
Nothing. Sure, I would do ownership.